in medieval times, I think it's called. The Bible's locked.
We want to see a mosh pit!
My phone is saying you have a limited amount of storage left.
Damon traded some candy with some people in a different car.
Oh yeah, throw it back.
Big ultimate energy, dude.
If there's one thing every single EDM festival goer can attest to, it's that there are two festivals you must go to before you retire from raving, or whichever comes first. One of them is Tomorrowland, and the other sells nearly twice as many tickets and is about 4 times as crowded. This is EDC Las Vegas, and it is big. So big, in fact, that in 2011 it had to be moved from San Bernardino to Las Vegas. This means that most people going to the festival are from LA and not Vegas. Unfortunately, this usually means there's pretty much only a house with a little bit of dubstep here and there, except for some reason Pasquale decided that wasn't a good idea this year and dubstep was on every main stage, all 3 of them. Okay, so obviously now I have to go. How is that gonna happen? I have never been to a festival out of state before, and also, who am I gonna go with? I'm from Washington. We like rhythm, we like dubstep. Everybody goes to Lost Lands, and not EDC, so kind of out of luck. This is where one of my best friends comes to the rescue. Out of the blue, randomly, I get a DM asking, hey, do you want to go to EDC? Now, up until this point, many things prevented me from actually going to EDC Las Vegas. Number one, the lineup usually wasn't that enticing. I also usually never had anyone to go with, and I didn't feel comfortable traveling alone, but also, I was too young. I am 20 now. I started raving when I was 18, so I didn't really have a lot of capital or friends that could afford to go, and yeah, it was just a bad idea. But regardless, that didn't matter anymore because I was old enough, I had enough money for the plane ticket, I had enough money for the wristband. What could go wrong? Now, I know I just told you one of my best friends was gonna go with me, but I actually lied. Because he couldn't. No, he couldn't. I know, I was as surprised as you were, because I found out a month before I was supposed to go. This was after I'd bought my wristband and a plane ticket to an airport that was 3 hours away. See, it would have been cheaper to do that if he was able to go, but unfortunately he couldn't, and there's a very good reason why. So at this point, not only do I have to do everything I just said, but also rent a car and drive to Vegas myself, and then drive all the way back by myself, and a whole bunch of other things, which is going to cost a lot more money than to just fly into Vegas directly. And that also doesn't solve the problem that I don't know who I'm gonna go with, because I am going. There's no way I'm not. I have the wristband, which I already bought from someone who wasn't gonna go, and I also bought my plane ticket. It's non-refundable. So after doing some research, I come to the conclusion that this is going to cost $500 to $1,000 more than I bargained for, which is not great.
Hey, guess what? This video is sponsored by me. I'm sponsoring it. Go look at my Patreon. It's got cool stuff like how to make music behind the scenes. You gotta use really chill, like this one. That sounds fun, right?
So immediately, my first line of action is, who else is going? Because I actually have no idea, so I ask. Turns out my friend Damon is going, and he's bringing his friend Ari. That's awesome. Also, remember when I said my friend had a good reason for canceling last minute? Well, he's part of the military, and the military has this fun habit of springing things on him right as he's about to go do something. This has happened to us several times before, and guess what happened this time? He got a call from the military saying, hey, guess what, bucko, you have to work this weekend, and he couldn't say anything about it because it's the military. So yeah, no fault to him, it just really sucked. But regardless, I finally found someone to go with, so now I have to get everything else together. On one hand, thank God I actually found people who were going that I knew. On the other hand, I didn't really have the urgency that I really should have because I waited another week to actually do anything. So it's a week before EDC, and I actually don't know where I'm going to stay, how I'm going to get there, or anything else. Now, by some miracle, I did get off my ass and actually booked a hotel, but I still didn't feel like booking a car yet, which I really should have, and I waited like a few more days for that. But oh, it gets worse. After booking the car, I don't realize that I should probably book a hotel for California. See, I should have mentioned this earlier, but I was flying to and from Ontario Airport, not Las Vegas Airport, and I was flying in on Thursday and flying out Monday. This would cause many problems. I just didn't know they would be problems yet. And trust me, when that happens, we'll get to it. Eventually, though, I do realize that I should book a hotel for the night in Ontario because I flew in at 9 p.m. and then if I drove over to Vegas, I would get there at like 3 in the morning. And also, I can't check into the hotel because I'm not 21 yet, which is why I put the hotel in Damon's name. But that also means Damon has to be there, and Damon is currently sleeping in Sacramento. So you see what the problem is. The only issue is I realized this less than 24 hours before I leave. So you know what that means. Okay, hotels.com, Ontario, California. And sort by cheapest. Perfect. Yeah, nothing fancy. Just literally the cheapest thing I could find. But regardless, it was time to go to bed because it was 9 p.m. I had a very long day tomorrow. Let's go to sleep, wake up the next morning very refreshed, ready to fly to California, and then drive to Vegas like a day afterwards.
What's up, guys? I woke up, I don't know, like an hour ago. We still gotta do some stuff. I just posted today's video. In less than 24 hours, I want to be in California. So we're flying in Ontario Airport and then driving all the way to Vegas. It should be fun. Honestly, I feel like I'm forgetting stuff because I have packed quite a lot of things, but it's only taking up like half my suitcase. So who knows? I might just take more stuff.
All right, what's up, guys? I finished packing a few hours ago. Got taken to the train station by my dad, and now I'm gonna go on the train to SeaTac Airport. We're in the airport. I don't feel comfortable talking super loud. It's like influencer. It's kind of cringe. We are officially through TSA. That was a lot less hectic than I thought it would be. My flight is in just under like 2 hours. I was going to go straight to Vegas, but I realized that if I did that, I would get to Vegas at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I can't check into my hotel. It's 3 in the morning. So let's go. We have landed. I'm in California right now. This is crazy. Hey, yo, check it out. Fucking big ultimate energy, dude. I will not use big ultimate energy on the car. That is how you lose your fucking deposit.
Hi, I got tired of animating literally everything. It was taking way too much time, so this is what I'm doing right now. So I forgot to film a bunch of stuff that night, but here's the gist. When I went to go pick up the card from Hertz, they told me I needed a credit card. I said I have a debit card, and they were like, okay, that's fine. We just need to perform a credit check. And I was like, okay. There's just one problem, though, and it's that I don't have any credit history because I've never had any credit cards or taken out any loans. So when they put my name in, nothing came up. Literally like zero. Zilch. But apparently that was fine because you could use Apple or Google Pay and like add someone else's credit card to it and it wouldn't really check the name. So I was like, okay, let me call my dad.
Oh my god, what is this? Is that my Patreon again? No way! Who put that there? That's ridiculous. Ugh.
So it's like 10:30 at this point, and I step aside and whip out my phone, and I'm like, hey, Dad, I need your help or else I don't have any transportation for this trip, like at all. So I told him everything the Hertz representative said, and he was like, okay, let me go get my Amex. So then I was standing there for like 15 minutes off at a corner, just adding a credit card to my Google Pay so we could do this and then immediately remove it like right after the trip ended. Thankfully, everything worked out because if it didn't, I would have to go to a rental car place that didn't take credit checks. And guess what? Those ones weren't open because it was 10:30 p.m. But in any case, I did get my Ultima and then I went back to the hotel, and because I was really hungry, I went to Denny's because it was the only place I could think about going, and it was like 5 minutes away. Regardless though, I had an early night. I think I went to bed at like 12:30 and woke up, I think at 8, so I could be out of the hotel by like 8:30. Very early, I know, but I wanted to get on the road as fast as possible. So what happened?
All right, it's Friday. It's officially EDC day. I've got my wristband on, as you can see. I just stayed the night at a motel. The motel was decidedly shitty. I chose it because it was the cheapest. I'm gonna go to Denny's for breakfast because I had it for dinner last night, and then we're gonna drive straight to Vegas.
So it's at this point, yet again, where I forgot to film a bunch of stuff. But that's okay, I'm here to talk about it right now. After getting breakfast at Denny's, I got straight on the road. Like, no nothing, no getting any supplies, just literally like that. And let me just say, the drive to Vegas was a lot better than the drive away from Vegas, which was quite a bit more difficult, but more documented, and there's a very good reason why, which I will explain later. The first third of the journey was pretty good. I figured out my Altima had a bass button, and when you pushed it, all the bass got really loud, and this would be very important on day 1, 2, and 3 of EDC. So I was listening to a lot of music and low-key checking the mixes on some of my songs just to make sure the sub was clear, which it was, to be clear. I make good music, I think. But then I switched to a podcast, Lemonade Stand, if you've ever heard of it, which was decidedly less energetic, but I didn't really care.
What's good, guys? We are, I think, like 66 miles from Vegas. We're in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's a well-traveled road, but we are in the middle of nowhere. Look at this. Absolutely nothing besides that highway for miles. Pretty weird drive. It's not that tough of a drive. It's just kind of a long one, you know? I wish I had sunglasses, but I don't. Also, my car was making a weird, like, squeaking sound. It's gone away now. I have no idea what it was. Hope it's nothing bad.
Okay, I was probably in that rest stop for like a total of 10 minutes and my car's already smoking hot.
For context, I am from Seattle. I think 2 years ago was the last time it got over 100 degrees.
This isn't over 100, this is like 90, 85,
But still, this doesn't happen at all. We gotta get to Vegas. We gotta get to Sin City, baby.
we're about to leave California. It looks like where all that stuff is, like right over there. That seems to be where Nevada starts. Because there has been a whole lot of all for quite a while. And wait for it, and we're in Nevada now. Welcome to Nevada.
Welcome to Nevada.
Thank you. And there's already a casino on the side of the road. That's awesome. Oh, Magic Mike Live. So we are entering Vegas pretty soon. I can see some fancy buildings behind that big hill.
Oh, I see it. I see the strip. I see the Vegas strip. I'm in sightline of Vegas, baby.
Wow. I feel like I'm entering the city of Mecca, except it's not, because it's literally nicknamed Sin City. It's so weird seeing a big apartment complex near a highway and just literally nothing around it. Normally it would be surrounded by trees, like that one. There's nothing next to it. It's just that.
Rave Opie. I see the Rave Opie.
So besides the roadside attractions, the drive over to Vegas wasn't really that eventful. However, there was one very funny, ridiculous thing I saw. So picture this. I'm right outside of Vegas, I'm driving on the road, and I pull aside to take some videos at a rest stop. I go to the bathroom, take my videos, and then look at who's parked right next to me. It's a group of like 4 guys, and they look like they were frat bros like a few years ago. It also looked like they were driving here directly from LA. This is important because of their choice of vehicle, an EcoBoost convertible Mustang. Now on its own, driving to Vegas with a convertible isn't that big of a deal, except they had clearly had the top down probably since LA, because they all looked like tomatoes. I have never seen a more sunburned group of people, I think, in my entire life. I really hope they weren't going to EDC, because that would have been the worst weekend ever. God, my skin is starting to hurt just thinking about it. Otherwise, yeah, seeing billboards advertising casinos right outside of San Bernardino was super funny, because they knew exactly where you were going and why you were going there. There were a few spots I did want to stop at, but I ended up not doing that, just to get directly to Vegas as soon as possible. I would stop at a few of them on the way back though, but that's for later. So one thing I didn't mention was that because I left so early, I got to Vegas at about 1 p.m. Only problem was the people I was going with, aka Damon and Ari, who needed to be there for me to get into the hotel, were still in California, and that was a problem. So I had several hours to do anything I wanted, and I didn't really know what to do because I didn't know anything about Vegas, aside from the fact that the stadium is there, the speedway's up there, and the strip is here. Yeah, I just sat in my car for like 2 hours. To be fair, I did go get some sunscreen, but that was about it. And oh, I just realized I forgot it in the car. Whoever got that Nissan Altima afterwards, enjoy the free sunscreen. Oopsie.
We in the hotel room, I had to upgrade because apparently the other one didn't have a f***ing fridge, and apparently the Bible's locked. You can't access the Bible. What? I mean, it's Sin City, but like, all right. Okay, This is the EDC fit. This is what the makeup looks like. It's like the start of chaos. Very cool. We got the trip pants. We've got this belt that definitely won't get caught on anything. We have this top, and we have the Rhythm Slinger Pass Shadow Rhythm Slinger. We got a bunch of candy. If anyone sees me at the festival, they get this one, the Saurana Sucks one. Say hi, Damon. Oh yeah, throwback. We're about to leave. Guys, it's gonna be so fun. No moshing though. Moshing is tomorrow.
Yeah. Swag stands out to the bar, let's get the drinks in.
Now, it's worth mentioning that the traffic at EDC Day 1 is always really bad because they have an opening ceremony that starts early. So you'll see people leaving for the festival at like 3, 4, sometimes even 2 p.m. to get there. Meaning our drive was like 2.5 hours. We were only 12 miles away. This is ridiculous. But honestly, that's just something you have to take into account. It's gonna take you a long time to get anywhere near the speedway while EDC is going on. Over 100,000 extra people are in Las Vegas for 3 days. That's pretty insane if you ask me. By the way, that 500,000 figure you see floating around isn't accurate at all. That's counting how many tickets are scanned in throughout all 3 days, so I would be counted 3 times. A much more accurate estimate is if you take that number and divide it by 3. It's usually just over 100,000. I think last year it was 125,000. I did the math on a short that blew up. You can go watch that if you want. Point is, there's a lot of people, and they're all going to this one racetrack, so you can probably guess how many cars there were.
Yeah, we're gonna do it till the morning. Pass out.
So we were in the car for 2.5 hours. What happened was it said 40 minutes, and then it said 40 minutes, 40 minutes later. It was still light out when we left. It is not. Currently, we're missing company, but that's okay. I just want to see Water Spirit and back-to-back Rusco today. Those are my 2 most important ones.
I'm so excited for Rusco!
Unfortunately, the people that I know that live in Vegas are at company probably right now. Unclear if I will meet up with them at all this weekend.
Noel, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry if I missed you.
It has just hit me that I'm going to EDC. We are walking with all the rest of the people. Damon traded some candy with some people in a different car. It was really fun.
It was really fun. We threw the candy
Did the
through
whole
the window.
Peace Love
Yep.
through the window?
It was great.
Okay, we're officially in the venue. I was told wasn't fake. I'm about to get into the thing. There's no way in hell I'm gonna remember it before all my reactions. Oh boy. Wow. What the f? Jesus. Oh, that's Kinetic Field over there. That's the big stage. Remember, guys, 1,400 people per acre.
Okay, so after I put the camera down, I didn't actually film anything productive until I got out of the venue and woke up the next morning. I was here to rave, not think about being a content creator. After my group and I got water behind Cosmic Meadow, we were like, okay, if anybody needs any help, you meet up there. I'll be at such and such and such set. This was under the assumption that I would see either of them at any point during the night. That ended up not happening. I side quested the whole time. Then after using a physical map, yes, a physical map to go find the Beatbox Art car, I stayed there and kind of just got into my festival mood. And then, get this, 15 minutes into me being at the set, someone recognized me. I hadn't been at EDC for no more than 45 minutes. Are you serious? And this person knew about the Saurana Sucks thing, so I gave them the candy. I was expecting to give that thing away on like Sunday. And then, if that wasn't crazy enough, I got recognized 2 more times at the same set. I have no words because I only have like 10,000 followers, which according to rave influencers isn't actually all that much. And additionally, there's over 100,000 people in this one area. I mean, I did tell people I would be at the Water Spirit set, but like, are we serious? Like, how did you guys find me this quickly? My influence still hasn't actually set in. This is insane. Then after giving Water Spirit some candy that had her name on it, I thought, I don't have enough, and went to downtown EDC to gamble it all away at the Candy Casino. Now, for the first 5 to 10 minutes, things were not going well. I was losing candy, but then I hit it big, and by the time I left, I had so much it was going to like there on my arm. It was insane. It did also take a while though, so by the time I was done with that, Riot 10 was well and truly over. And I went to see Sullivan King, which was a very good time. I saw the first mosh pit of the weekend. It was great. Of course, then I was running out of water, so I went back to the water station where I met someone else who we'll call Question Girl. Now, I initiated a conversation with Question Girl and all of her friends because, you know, I'm a social butterfly. That's kind of what I do. That's how I met all the promoters in Seattle. And of course, the first thing she asked is, where are you from? That's normal. People ask that all the time. So I said, Seattle. Then she asked, what part of Seattle? It's like, okay, then she must have a lot of connections to Seattle or be a local or something. That's still pretty normal. I mean, not as normal at EDC, but still, you know, so I said. Then she dug deeper by asking me what part of I was from. Now at EDC specifically, it's kind of weird to hear this question because A, we're in Vegas, and B, most people from EDC are actually from LA, so what gives? But I assume if she's a local to Seattle and a local to then, you know, it's a valid question to ask. But at this point, the only thing she said about her connection to Seattle is that she used to live there and that she lives in Chicago now. So she doesn't even live there anymore. Like, I didn't even know where she was from. She could have been from Tequila or Shoreline or ever. I don't know. And then she went one level deeper and she asked me what my cross streets are. I've only ever been asked that question for one reason: if the person asking it wants to come to my house. Now, up until this point, I told the truth because there's a lot of people in Seattle, a lot of people in... But you don't get to know that, especially because you've only known me for like 5 minutes. So I said, which is not true. Then she goes one level deeper and asks if I went to high school. Now, on one hand, she demonstrated she knew the area by knowing high school exists. On the other hand, why do you want to know this? Like, do you want my mother's maiden name and the 3 funky numbers on the back of my credit card too? Like, what? I didn't really know what else to say, so I said yes, I went to that school. And then she asked me what year I graduated, which is even weirder. And then when we parted ways at BasePod, I didn't get her information for very obvious reasons. Except this isn't the last you'll hear of her, because she comes back. But anyway, at this point, it was the final leg of Katzpa back-to-back Rusko, so I kind of sat there for a little bit, sat there for Simula, and then figured, I'm really tired. So I texted Ari with a timestamp of when I texted it, being like, I'm kind of tired, when do you want to go? About 45 minutes later, I learned they were seeing Nightmare at Cosmic Meadow. So I went to Cosmic Meadow and couldn't find them. So I sent out a text and sat down because I was absolutely exhausted and not used to going to bed at like 7 in the morning yet. And about 20 minutes later, I get a text saying they were at the rail. At this point, I'm so tired, I can barely stand up. So internally, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going back to the car. Everybody was back in the car by probably like 5:30, 5:45. And then we got into more traffic because it was EDC. I ended up going to sleep at 7:30 in the morning. Oh my God. Okay, day 2. So day 2 started around noon. I know that's not a whole lot of sleep to get. I went to bed at 7:30 in the morning, but my body really doesn't like waking up past that point. It's something that's always been a part of me. I have no idea why. Aside from that though, I had some errands to run. After all, the car was dirty. So I put in nearest car wash into Google Maps and it sent me to a place that doesn't exist. So I was real confused for a second and then put the next best place in, and that one actually did exist, thank God. But after about 5 minutes there, I was like, wow, I'm really hungry, and went to go get In-N-Out. And let me say, In-N-Out is good. I know a lot of people like it, but I also know that a lot of people who live near In-N-Outs don't really like it, and I don't know what they're talking about. It's practically as cheap as Dick's, is as good as Dick's. What gives? TLDR, I like In-N-Out. Get over it. But after that, I went back to the hotel room only to find that Damon and Ari were still asleep, and after about an hour or two, they were up too. I told them I got some food and washed the car and was like, when do you guys want to go in? Personally, I wanted to see Infect and Samplifier because they were pretty much the only true rhythm artists on the lineup, and those two went on quite a bit earlier than when we got in the festival last night. So obviously we'd have to leave super early, right? Well, here's the thing. Honestly, not really. So on Friday, they opened the festival up early. This is because there's a whole opening ceremony. This also means if you leave when the actual DJ sets start, you're gonna have a lot of traffic. But they don't open the Speedway early Saturday, so guess what? We only hit traffic like probably half a mile from the entrance. It was insane. In fact, Ari was like, hang on, let me check the news to make sure no one because this is like not a lot of traffic. And keep in mind, the festival had already started. There should be a lot of people filing in, but I don't know, I guess not. So just like Friday, I didn't record like anything productive in the festival on Saturday. But I will tell you about what I wanted to do. Number 1, go to all of the DJ sets I wanted to see. Now this time, unlike Friday, there were quite a few. I wanted to see Samplifier, Infect, Sudden Death, Lil Texas, Mish. My night was packed. I also wanted to find Question Girl again, which was weird, right? Because she made me wildly uncomfortable, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get her out of my head. It's like she injected me with brain worms or something. I have no idea, but that was my second goal. And my third goal was to explore this speedway. As I tell the story of day 2, we'll periodically check back on those 3.
Hey guys, I hope you didn't forget, I have a Patreon. I know I've plugged it like twice before, but like...
Oh, hang on, I'm getting a call. Susan Wapjack, what are you calling me for? I'm sponsoring myself too many times. You're not even the CEO of YouTube anymore. You can't tell me what to... Oh, there's the police. Oopsie.
G6, doing so fly like a G6. It's very windy. I don't know what the audio quality is, but it's probably Day 2, baby. This is Moshing Day. I have, like, what's it called? A math card for Infect and Samplifier and Bastive and also Sudden Death. We'll see how long it is until something inevitably breaks and I have to get out of the pit. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. Hello!
Okay, now we're actually in the speedway, and let me tell you, it was really windy. In fact, it was so windy, those fire-spitting towers weren't on. It was probably too dangerous. You can see this in the videos I took. The flags that are super high in the air are waving so fast, it's crazy. And for me, it was just pretty windy. I was in the pits for Samplifier, I saw Infect, but not for everyone else. You see, what I didn't realize until after someone told me was that it got so windy that every single stage, except for Bass Pod, the dubstep stage, and Wasteland, the hardstyle stage, were closed. That's right, they were closed. No music, it was just those two. You can probably guess what happened. I don't think I have ever seen a more overcrowded stage in my life. It took me, and I wish I was kidding, a solid 10 minutes, not like 10-ish minutes, a solid 10 minutes to get from the front of Bass Pod to out of Bass Pod. It was insane. You couldn't walk behind the crowd. You had to walk around it. That's how many people were there. Like, in the middle of the crowd, there was a media box that was controlling all the lights, lasers, everything like that. To me, that's supposed to be the end of the crowd. That was the middle. The crowd was so big that there were 2 really big mosh pits, one at the front and one in the middle. Most events I've been to are not big enough to have multiple mosh pits that are completely separate and unrelated to each other. And I think the craziest thing about this is that these crowds were still there on Sunday. Now, of course, after like 3:30 in the morning, everything died down, so the crowds were generally smaller for every stage, but the Bass Pod crowd on Sunday was practically the same size. It was insane. Now, after deciding that I had enough with Bass Pod and that everyone was a little bit too angry and too squished together at the front, I decided I wanted to go see Mish, which was a very good idea. After slowly making my way out with some people I'd just met, we made our way over to the Mish stage, and let me tell you, it was a lot better. In terms of music, exactly the same. But the crowd, it wasn't nearly as packed, and that was awesome. I could finally hear myself think and breathe. And then Mish got on stage. Let me tell you, she's a really good DJ. I haven't talked about the DJing skill of pretty much anyone in this video yet because they were all pretty good. Mish was really good. I had such a good time at this set that I completely forgot about Question Girl. Like, full stop. Like, after 30 minutes, I was like, I don't give a fuck about her. No offense. I realized I should just be having a good time and not actively looking for someone, especially someone who's asking me all those weird questions. So good for me, I guess. Now, after that, I was a little bit tired of music and I wanted to take a break for a little bit before I went back to Sudden Death and then to Little Texas. So I got some chicken strips and an energy drink, and then I went to Sudden Death. Now, unfortunately, I hurt myself in the pits prior, so I couldn't really go in them now, but I could watch from afar. But honestly, I was a little tired and saving my energy for Lil Texas, who I hadn't seen in quite a while. It was actually 2 entire years, which is far too long. The Sudden Death set was, I don't know, pretty good, nothing to write home about. Standard Danny, it was all good. Honestly, I wish I'd skipped it for Isonoc because apparently it was their last set ever, or at least for a very long time, and I definitely would have seen them because I haven't actually seen Isonoc before. But hindsight is 2020, who cares? Okay, now Lil Texas. The interesting thing about Wasteland, unlike every other stage, which is packed with Americans, is that you'll see a lot of Europeans at it. This is because Europeans and Australians really like hardstyle, and Americans really don't. In fact, Europeans are probably the sole reason Wasteland still exists, but I'm very glad. I tell you this because unlike every other hardstyle artist I saw that weekend, Lil Texas was the most packed. Apparently, us Americans really like Lil Texas, and Europeans don't take him as seriously, which is kind of lame. People were like pouring out of the Wasteland stage. It was great. And because everyone at Wasteland is usually really plural, it wasn't like 10 minutes in that I met a couple that was really into it. I was like, hey, I want to move up. And I was like, do you guys want to? And they were like, yeah. So we went a little bit closer. This is what that view looked like. And then they were like, what if we got a little bit closer? And I was like, yeah, okay. And this is what that view looked like. And then eventually they were like, that's a spot at the rail. You want to go? And I was like, oh, hell yeah. And this is what that view looked and sounded like. As you can tell, it was peaking the mic pretty much the whole time. And dog, I gotta be so real with you. This was probably one of my most favorite sets of the entire weekend. It was incredible. Now, I wasn't the most energetic person in the world because it was pretty late and I hadn't had an energy drink. Did I? I can't remember. The point is I was tired, but I was having a really good time. I was watching the guy on stage with really big muscles. They had some really pretty dancers and I don't know, just very cool. However, I did have one criticism. So Mr. Texas, if you're watching this, I have a few notes. Every single famous DJ is known for a different thing. With Excision, it's, oh my God, this is so loud. With Eptic, it's, wow, this art direction is really good and this production is really unique. For Lil Texas, it's, how fast can I make this song and I'm gonna take my pants off, usually at the same time. So inevitably, when the hour was coming to a close, I started to hear country rhythm and I was like, okay, well, I know where this is going. And then I waited and waited some more. And then I realized he's not gonna take his pants off. You see, Lil Texas has taken off his pants before, at Base Canyon, at Lost Lands, EDC Mexico, where he also took his underwear off and had to cover it with a cowboy hat. I wanted to see that. That would have been awesome. Why not? I mean, like, it's not every day you see a DJ strip on stage, right? But he didn't, and that was really disappointing. But I do have a theory. I bet he wanted to do it, but I also bet Insomniac didn't. And I bet they told him not to do it, and that really sucks. I can't confirm this, but it's my theory. Who knows? After Lil Texas ended, it was about 4:30 in the morning, and I'd seen almost everyone I wanted to see, so I went back to the meeting spot. And lo and behold, there was Ari and Damon, and they were like, yeah, we're pretty much also ready to go. Going back on day 2, the traffic was so much lighter because we left early. The two biggest pushes for leaving that night were 3:30 when Isonoc and Slander back-to-back Millennium ended, and the end of the festival where everyone else is going. Right in the middle of that, so it didn't take long to get back to our hotel and go to sleep. We still had one more day left. Speaking of which, all right, day 3. Now for day 3, I'm pretty sure for me, it started around 1 p.m.
So I forgot to film the mornings after for any of the days except for Saturday, which is right now. I am pretty exhausted, but not nearly as exhausted as I thought I would be. I took too many videos and now my phone is saying you have a limited amount of storage left. So that's fun. What I might do is when I get home, I will take a bunch of the internal storage and I will upload it to a thing and then I will just like delete it. I'll transfer it from my phone to something else. I don't know. I might also see if I can move a lot of it to my SD card. I need more storage, man. I saw everyone I super wanted to see last night. I might chill out at Wasteland a little bit, but I might also go to Circuit Grounds because dubstep. And I also want to explore the festival because like I haven't been able to do that yet because I've just been like super hardcore focused on seeing people that I really want to see.
After getting some breakfast and waiting for the others to wake up, we all decided, let's go to a studio because Damon was invited to one by some people he met last night. So for one, it was air conditioned, and for two, they were making dubstep. So obviously I was interested. Now after that, we got in the guy's car and went to the real life Pawn Stars shop, and then we all got ready for the festival. Now the difference between day 1 and 2 and day 3, oh my God. Now going there on day 1, there was a lot of music being played in cars and we were playing some pretty high energy tear out. On day 2, pretty much the same thing. Lots of music, lots of energy. Day 3, that changed. Everybody was very tired, and in fact, it's not an uncommon thing for people to skip out on day 3 entirely. I'm pretty sure our car was the only one that was playing music audible to other cars. And you remember when I said that bass button in the Ultimo would come in handy? This is where it came in handy. Because we were all so exhausted, if it weren't for the loud as fuck music, I would have probably been falling asleep at the wheel. It also helped to keep our energy going, which was very important because we still had like 12 hours to go raving. And because our group didn't really want to see anyone at the very start of the festival, we were like, okay, let's just leave at like 6:30.
Oh my god, guys, I just got out of prison. I just escaped. They're trying to find me. You know how you can help me? By subscribing to my Patreon. It's got, I forget. Oh yeah, it's got like cool stuff and videos early. Go subscribe. Help me become late as an influencer. Oh shit, they found me. You're the snare. Go back in prison. Go.
Alright gamers, it's day 3 and this is possibly the most day 3 that I think is ever day 3'd. On the drive over here, yesterday and Friday, I heard tons of music, even if it was house, even if it was top 40. This time,
No one was even bobbing their heads.
If they were playing music, we were playing the loudest music I think I heard. The energy is like so like I can tell just walking towards the venue that this is like, we're all exhausted. Anyway, yeah, day 3. I don't expect too many videos today, but we're gonna go see Joseph.
Now this time I knew I was in for the long haul. So you remember in the intro when I said there would be problems because my flight left too early? This is when I started to realize that. You see, I thought like pretty much every other festival I'd been to that everything ended at midnight. That's not true. The festival goes from sundown to sun up. So it goes until 5:30 in the morning. So a lot of the people I wanted to see weren't until much later. It was also at this point that I realized that my flight left at 4 p.m. So if I left at 4 a.m., it would be 12 hours until my flight in a different state, 3 hours away. Oh no. And so I huddle with Ari and Damon and we're like, okay, so we're gonna meet up every 2 hours. So like 10:30, 12:30, 2:30, but we're also gonna meet up 4 a.m., not 4:30 a.m. because Mercedes might have to leave and we might want to stay. And I was like, okay, cool. After that, we're in the festival and I see Joseph, which was super awesome. He brought out Lil Texas. And after that, I didn't really know what to do. There was nobody I super duper wanted / needed to see for pretty much the rest of the night except for Ruler at like 2:30. So I kind of just went to downtown EDC. I tried to get in the dating show game because I thought that would be fun, but it was taking too long and I was like, screw it. I want to see Excision. So I left, saw Excision, went in the mosh pits, met a guy who was a 6-year rave veteran, which was super cool. And then I got some caffeine so I could wait around at Cranked at back-to-back date B for Ruler. I know I'm going through this day kind of fast, but honestly, it went by kind of fast. The first day didn't have a whole lot I wanted to see. The second day had a ton I wanted to see. And the third day was kind of like the first day. Then we got to Ruler where I met some Australians. They were awesome. This guy gave me like a full face massage with some essential oils. And then he gave me a back massage, which felt really good. If you're watching this, dude, that was amazing. Hell yeah, dude. They were super nice, and then I got recognized for the final time that weekend. His name was Joseph, and he had a massive Adult Swim flag. He also happened to really like hardstyle. I mean, he was at the Wasteland stage, for fuck's sake. When he said he recognized me, I was like, oh my god, let me give you some candy, and we honestly had a really good time. All 4 of us, the Australians, Joseph, and I. There's not too much I can say about it, because it's not like something really crazy happened, but it was probably the most wholesome interaction I had of the entire night. We were just having a good time. We were some random people who just met on the fly. It was great. I also got my first ever shoulder ride. That seems kind of ridiculous until you realize that I'm 6 feet tall, constantly work out, and I'm like 150 pounds. So Joseph was pretty much the only person in the rave who could have probably supported me. Love you, dude. And I also got this really nice video. After that, we stayed for, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes with the next guy. He played an honestly pretty emotional remix of Language by Porter Robinson, and man, I was fucking cooked. I was so burnt out and tired, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And I wanted to stick it out till Void, but then I realized, oh yeah, I have a flight. So right before 4, I went to get some food and then went right to the meeting spot where I saw Damon and Ariadne. And honestly, I wasn't really surprised when they said, yeah, we're really tired. Let's just go. And so then we got back to the hotel at maybe like 5:36. Now, because my flight was at 4:30 in a different state 3 hours away, I realized I needed to go to sleep immediately. So I packed up everything I could, put some clothes on, brushed my teeth, and did all my stuff, and then got into bed. I wanted to sleep for an hour and a half because, you know, that made sense. I slept for 2 hours and I was kind of stressed. After frantically waking up, not realizing I still had plenty of time, I booked it out the door, got in my car, and went straight to the gas station to fill up. It's at this point when I start filming quite a lot of stuff. And if you remember, I said there was a good reason for that. And that was because I needed to stop a lot to keep from falling asleep. And additionally, while I'm there, I might as well film. I had foolishly decided against caffeine because I figured, I don't know, I had no idea why I decided that. But regardless, no caffeine, just pure raw thugging it out.
What's up, gamers? You catch me at a somewhat inconvenient time. I didn't film outside of right outside the venue like I wanted to. I didn't film inside the hotel room like I wanted to. I'm filming in the car as I drive back to Ontario, California. Holy shit, EDC was insane. I'm very glad I went. I am so excited to not do any raving this weekend. Very excited to do that. I've never ever said that ever in my life, but now I am. I met so many awesome people last night. I met more people last night than I think the other 2 days combined, even though it didn't really seem like it, but I did. The people I know who live in Las Vegas who are going to EDC, I did not see at all. I may be only running on 2 hours of sleep right now, but it's 2 hours of sleep in a hot, sunny car. No way I'm falling asleep. We're leaving. We're officially leaving for Los Angeles. This was one hell of a ride. I'm so glad I went. Never in a million years would I think that I would have been able to pull this off because the person I was going with had to cancel last minute due to unforeseen circumstances that were out of their control. Thank you, Las Vegas. Thank you, Insomniac. Thank you, EDC. Hey, what's up, gamers? A few hours into the drive, I've been stopping a lot more. It's not just like a straight shot like it was before. I was gonna stop by this store because I was kind of hungry for something. Some kind of like thing to eat, maybe like some road food. And it had this giant sign painted on the roof that said market. It's right over there. I get off the road, I exit, and I drive up, and then I realize it's abandoned. Like abandoned. I don't think anybody's been in there for like probably the past 10 years. It's crazy. We gotta get going, but I figured I'd update you guys a little bit. Here we go. That, but there is damn near nothing out here. An actual ton of just nada. Zip, zilch. No trees, no buildings, no signs of civilization besides this goddamn highway and these electricity pylons, which, by the way, are very large. It's very weirdly nostalgic. Maybe it's because I used to be really into Fallout, and so I'm kind of like reminded of that. Who knows? I have no idea. As Rock TV would say, we do it. At some point I will stop by a gas station and maybe get some, I don't know, and at this point candy. Something that'll keep my hands clean because I cannot deal with the greasy steering wheel. I should probably stop filming because this is, I think, technically illegal. I don't know, but it probably is. It is distracted driving at least. One more shot of how barren this wasteland is. My God, that is insane. Okay, interestingly, it looks like we've got more abandoned shit. This looks significantly less abandoned. I don't think that. I think people live there. Like, some of this shit looks like it's so fascinating. I know this might seem like normal for like literally anyone else, but for context, the highways where I live, there are trees all along the side. You can't see jack. You can't see anything. If there's abandoned stuff, you cannot see it. This is interesting because I can see all of like the things. I can see it all. You can drive through Eastern Washington. You're still not gonna see abandoned like this. It just doesn't happen.
Okay, then we got to the airport. I waited for about an hour in the middle of TSA. Somehow got through TSA without falling asleep. And then finally I could rest. And then I realized the only thing I'd eaten that day was Nerds Gummy Clusters. So immediately I went to the nearest airport store, bought everything I could possibly get my hands on, went back to my terminal, and promptly took a nap. And then I got on the plane. and took a nap again. And then after I'd gotten back to Seattle, back on the train, and back to my house, I went to bed at about 2 in the morning because my sleep schedule hadn't been fixed yet. And at that point, I had been up for almost 36 hours. Not 36 hours straight, practically 36 hours. And then I went to bed for 12 hours and woke up at 2 p.m. the next day. And that is how you attend EDC. Poorly. Hang on, wait, don't leave just yet. Thank you so much for watching. This is probably the longest video I have ever edited. It took me so long and I'm really proud of it. If you guys could do me the pleasure of checking out my Instagram and my Blue Sky, that would be awesome. If you're here from Instagram, don't be afraid to subscribe. I post the same stuff here, just more long form content and a few other things. And if you really like this video and want to see more or behind the scenes or how to make music or just extra stuff, you can subscribe to my Patreon. It's down below. It would be super helpful and it really helps me do more stuff like this. I do not want to stop making content like this, and your support makes all of this so much easier to do. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.